Sister Sister is an American television comedy that featured the delightful pairing of identical twin siblings, Tia and Tamara Mari. The series made its debut in April 1994 and concluded in May 1999, boasting a commendable run of 6 seasons encompassing a remarkable total of 119 episodes. The narrative orbits around two sisters who, post being adopted by distinct families at birth, serendipitously reunite 14 years later. The show's inception credits go to Kim Bass, Gary Gilbert, and Fred Schafferman. Initially, ABC Network picked up Sister Sister as a mid-season replacement. Despite facing the prospect of cancellation due to low ratings after the first season, a resurgence in viewership during its final season in 1995 led to a remarkable turnaround in its ratings. Subsequently, the WB network picked up the show, extending its airtime for the remaining 5 seasons. Recognized as one of the premier sitcoms of its era, Sister Sister showcased a talented ensemble cast. In this video, we'll highlight some of the cast members who have since passed away. Don't forget to engage with our content by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel for more of such features. Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy joined the cast of Sister Sister in the first season, portraying the character of Sarah, the best friend to Tia and Tamara. Throughout the show's initial season, Murphy adeptly navigated the plot intricacies, displaying fewer challenges in identifying the identical twins and consistently having their backs. However, she did not make an appearance in the third season as she was busy filming the television series Clueless. On December 20th, 2009, at 8 a.m., the Los Angeles Fire Department responded to a medical request at the shared Los Angeles residence of Murphy and her husband, Simon Monjack. Murphy had reportedly collapsed in a bathroom. Despite firefighters' attempts to resuscitate her on the scene, she was later transported to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where she succumbed to cardiac arrest at 10:04 a.m. Born as Brittany Ann Bertolotti in Atlanta, Georgia, she was the daughter of Sharon Kathleen Murphy and Angelo Joseph Bertolotti, who divorced when she was 2. Raised by her mother in Edison, New Jersey, Bertolotti was not initially named as her father on Brittany's first death certificate. Murphy often recounted her challenging upbringing, citing financial struggles that led to a diet of spaghetti and the occasional need to plead for clothes from her mother. In 2002, Murphy entered a relationship with Ashton Kutcher, whom she met while starring together in Just Married. Despite never officially confirming their engagement, both Murphy and Kutcher were spotted wearing rings. Following this, she was engaged to talent manager Jeff Quatnetz, but their relationship lasted only 4 months. Later, in December 2005, she dated Joe Macaluso, a production assistant she met during the filming of Little Black Book. Their relationship concluded approximately 4 months after completing The Ramen Girl in April 2006. Sherman Hemsley. Sherman Hemsley portrayed Grandpa Campbell in the show, making his debut in Season 3. On July 24, 2012, Hemsley passed away at his El Paso, Texas residence at the age of 74, succumbing to superior vena cava syndrome, a complication associated with lung and bronchial carcinomas. Hemsley's roots trace back to South Philadelphia, where he was raised by his mother, employed at a lamp factory. He did not encounter his father until the age of 14 and completed his early education at Barrett Middle School. After attending Central High School for 9th grade and Bach Technical High School for 10th, Hemsley dropped out during his 10th grade year to enlist in the United States Air Force, serving for 4 years. Norman Lear reached out to Hemsley in 1971 while he was on Broadway with Pearlie, inviting him to play the recurring role of George Jefferson in the new sitcom All in the Family. Initially hesitant to leave his theater role, Hemsley was assured by Lear that the part would be held open for him, and he joined the cast 2 years later. The characters of Hemsley and co-star Isabel Sanford, initially in supporting roles on All in the Family, were eventually given their own spin-off, The Jeffersons, in 1975, which became one of Lear's most successful series, running for 11 seasons until 1985. In 1989, Hemsley, known for his background as a jazz keyboardist, released the single Ain't That a Kick in the Head, followed by the 1992 rhythm and blues album Dance. He demonstrated his musical prowess on Soul Train and performed the song Eyes in the Dark. Hemsley expressed a strong affinity for 1970s progressive rock bands like Yes, Gentle Giant, Gong, and Nectar. Despite the outgoing characters he portrayed, Hemsley was a reserved and intensely private individual, often described as reclusive. He steered clear of the Hollywood limelight, keeping much of his personal life guarded. Although he never married and had no children, Hemsley granted a rare video interview to the Archive of American Television in 2003, acknowledging the challenges of playing George Jefferson. Following Hemsley's passing, Flora Isella Enchinton, identified as the sole beneficiary of his will, disclosed in an interview with an El Paso news anchor on August 28, 2012, that they were friends and business partners for over 2 decades. Enchinton, living with Hemsley and their mutual friend Kenny Johnston, emphasized that Hemsley never spoke of any relatives, cautioning against people expecting monetary gain due to his fame. Fred Willard, portraying Mr. Matushka, the vice principal of Roosevelt High and the founder of a conservatory for young musicians, Fred Willard engages in a character who, in his final 2 appearances, attempts a bit too hard to connect with the students by trying to be cool. The character features prominently in the Season 3 episodes The Piano Lesson, The Candidate, and The Audition. On May 15, 2020, at the age of 86, Fred Willard passed away at his Los Angeles residence, as confirmed by his daughter and representative. The reported cause of death was cardiac arrest, with contributing factors including coronary artery disease and myelodysplastic syndrome. Born Frederick Charles Willard in Cleveland, Ohio, on September 18, 1933, he was raised in Shaker Heights, Ohio, by his mother, Ruth, a housewife. After the death of his father, Frederick Charles Willard, in 1945, when he was 12 years old. Willard initiated his stage career upon relocating to New York in the late 1950s, with early work including a production of Desperate Hours at a local YMCA, where he collaborated with future comedy partner Vic Greco. Performing as Willard Amp Greco in the Greenwich Village area, they achieved touring success and made appearances on The Dean Martin Show, The Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, and The Tonight Show. Although offered roles in Get Smart and The Carol Burnett Show, poor management led to the rejection of these opportunities, resulting in their separation in 1968. Recognized as a pioneer in comedy at the Burbank International Film Festival on September 16, 2011, Willard continued his career with diverse roles. In 2011, he portrayed Santa Jack, an eccentric owner of a local Christmas carnival in the final season of The Closer. In 2012, he played Al Kaiser in Rob Reiner's film The Magic of Belle Isle, and in 2013, he starred in The Birdmen alongside Tom Cavanaugh. The film revolves around a mild-mannered birder seeking revenge on a younger rival after losing the coveted head of ornithology position at the national park. Fred Willard was married to Mary Lovell from 1968 until her death in 2018 at the age of 71. Their union produced a daughter and a grandson, David Strickland. Portraying Dave, a security guard at the mall where Lisa works, David Strickland is often depicted as slightly incompetent, and he loses his job in one episode. On March 20th, 1999, Strickland, accompanied by comedian Andy Dick, flew from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, engaging in 3 days of partying at strip clubs. After checking into a motel, Strickland spent time with a prostitute, consumed 6 bottles of beer, and tragically hung himself with a bedsheet over the ceiling beam. He passed away during the morning hours of March 22, 1999, at the age of 29. Born on October 14, 1969, in Glen Cove, Long Island, New York, David Gordon Strickland, Jr. was raised by his parents, David Gordon Sr. and Karen, both executives. The family later moved to Princeton, New Jersey, and eventually to Los Angeles, where Strickland pursued an acting career. In his personal life, Strickland grappled with bipolar disorder and faced a prolonged history of drug and alcohol abuse. 5 months before his demise, he was arrested for cocaine possession, entered a no-contest plea, received 3 years probation, and was ordered into drug rehabilitation. Scheduled for a progress report in court on the day of his death, news reports indicated that Strickland had chosen to stop taking the prescribed lithium for his bipolar disorder. Following extensive discussions, the writers of Suddenly Susan opted to address Strickland's death directly by writing off his character, Todd Stites. In the show's 3rd season finale, A Day in a Life, Todd fails to show up for work, prompting Susan to inquire about tickets to a show. Todd's pager vibrates on his desk, and as Susan spends the day searching for him, she discovers a series of good deeds he had done throughout his life. Kobe Bryant. Bryant also appeared on the sitcom Sister Sister, featuring as a guest cast member in a single episode in 1996. On January 26, 2020, a helicopter carrying the iconic basketball player Kobe Bryant and 8 other individuals, including his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, crashed into a California hillside, resulting in the tragic death of everyone on board. Born on August 23, 1978 in Philadelphia, Bryant was the youngest of 3 children and the only son of Pamela Cox, Bryant and former NBA player Joe Bryant. He was also the maternal nephew of NBA player John Chubby Cox. His parents named him after the renowned beef of Kobe, Japan, which they encountered on a restaurant menu. The middle name Bean originated from his father's nickname, Jelly Bean. Raised in a Catholic family, Bryant was instilled with the faith. In November 1999, 21-year-old Bryant crossed paths with 17-year-old Vanessa Lane, who was working as a background dancer on the Tha East Sida's music video, Get Up. Bryant, engaged in building his debut album, initiated a relationship with Lane, and they became engaged 6 months later in May 2000, while Lane was still a senior at Marina High School in Huntington Beach, California. To evade media attention, she completed high school through independent study. The couple married on April 18, 2001, at St. Edward the Confessor Catholic Church in Dana Point, California. Notably, Bryant's parents, 2 sisters, longtime advisor and agent Arn Tellem, and Laker teammates did not attend the wedding. His parents opposed the marriage for various reasons, citing concerns about his young age and marrying someone not African American. This disagreement led to a 2-year estrangement, which concluded with the birth of the couple's first daughter. Bryant ventured into acting in 1996, making his debut in an episode of Moshe. His encounter with the show's star, Brandy, occurred earlier in the year at a Nike All-Star basketball game. A few months later, in May 1996, Bryant accompanied Brandy as her date to her Hollywood high school senior prom. Michael Clark Duncan. Michael Clark Duncan is another guest cast member from the show's Sister Sister who has passed away. Duncan was transported to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center after experiencing a heart attack on July 13, 2012. By August 6, 2012, he had been transferred from the intensive care unit but remained hospitalized. On September 3, 2012, Duncan passed away in the hospital due to respiratory failure. He was 54 years old. Duncan, a Chicago native, was brought up in a single-parent household alongside his sister Judy by his mother Jean Duncan, a house cleaner, following his father's departure. In his youth, he aspired to pursue football and even tried out for the Chicago Bears of the National Football League, NFL. However, he opted for an acting career when his mother, concerned about potential injuries, forbade him from playing. Despite his early desire for acting, Duncan had to abandon the communication program at Alcorn State University to provide for his family when his mother fell ill. During the week of May 14, 2012, Duncan made a guest appearance on the late-night talk show The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson during its week of taping in Scotland. A frequent guest on the show, Duncan had appeared a total of 18 times, and the day after his death in September, Ferguson commenced his show with a tribute to him. In January 2013, during The Late Late Show's winter break, reruns of the Scotland episodes were aired with a tribute to Duncan at the beginning of each episode. The tribute featured Duncan's photo on a pink background, along with the text, "In memory of our friend Michael Clark Duncan." At the time of his passing, Duncan was romantically involved with reality television personality Omarosa Manigault. Subsequently, his family alleged that Omarosa altered his will and testament, manipulated Duncan in his final days, fabricated their engagement, and sold his belongings without the family's knowledge. In 2013, Manigault participated in the cast of The All-Star Celebrity Apprentice, playing for Duncan's favorite charity and one he had personally benefited from, the Sue Duncan Children's Center. In the second episode of the season, Manigault secured $40,000 for the charity. Duncan had trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the Gracie Academy in Torrance, California, and held a purple belt in the discipline, Janette Dubois. Janette Dubois is another guest cast member from the show's sister, who has passed away. Dubois appeared in the show as Mamo Danielle in only one episode. Dubois passed away on February 17, 2020, due to cardiac arrest at her residence in Glendale, California. Dubois initiated her acting career on stage during the early 1960s, making her Broadway debut with a minor role in the short-lived play The Long Dream, which had a 4-day run in February 1960. She featured in the drama A Raisin in the Sun with Louis Gossett Jr., although not in the original Broadway production. Dubois' early television acting credits encompass the 1969 television film J.T. and her role as Loretta Allen on the soap opera Love of Life from 1970 to 1972, marking her as one of the first African-American female regular cast members on a daytime series. Dubois' initial film appearance was her depiction of Vera in Diary of a Mad Housewife, 1970. She secured the role of Stormy Monday in the 1973 comedy Five on the Black Hand Side and participated in Lanford Wilson's play The Hot L Baltimore the same year. During her tenure in the play, television producer Norman Lear observed Dubois on stage at the Mark Taper Forum and was impressed with her performance. He cast her in his CBS sitcom Good Times as Wellona Woods, the Evans' neighbor and the best friend of family matriarch Florida Evans, portrayed by Esther Roll. Dubois was part of the show from February 1974 until its conclusion in August 1979. Dubois started the show as a co-star alongside Rolle and John Amos. In 1977, Dubois' role gained prominence during the 5th season after Rolle departed the cast. Dubois resumed her co-starring role when Rolle returned in the 6th and final season in 1978. Dubois entered into matrimony with Sajit Gupta in 1950. According to her Brazilian consular document, Dubois had divorced Gupta by April 1959. However, another source indicates that she was still married in 1964. Together, Dubois and Gupta had 4 children: Provat Gupta, Rani Gupta, Kesha Gupta Fields, and Raj Christo Gupta, who succumbed to cancer in 1987 at age 36. Provat is a basketball coach based in California. In 1959, Dubois was romantically involved with actor Brock Peters. Merlin Santana. Merlin Santana is another actor who appeared in the sitcom's show Sister. On November 9, 2002, Santana was fatally shot while seated in a car in Los Angeles. Santana and his companion, actor Brandon Adams, had just departed from an acquaintance's residence in the Crenshaw district when Damian Andre Gates, 19 at the time, discharged the gunshot that entered through the trunk of the vehicle in which Santana was a passenger. The bullet pierced the right front passenger headrest and struck Santana's head, resulting in his death. Born in Washington Heights, New York City, to parents from the Dominican Republic, Santana's journey in show business commenced with encouragement from his parents, who aimed to keep him away from the challenging streets of New York. He commenced his career at the age of 3 as an advertising model for a fast food chain. His initial appearance on screen was as an extra in the Woody Allen film, The Purple Rose of Cairo. In 1991, Santana secured a recurring role on The Cosby Show as Stanley, the boyfriend of Rudy Huxtable and the adversary of Rudy's friend Kenny, Dion Richmond. Subsequently, he was cast as Marcus Dixon in the short-lived sitcom Getting By, featuring Cindy Williams and Thelma Hopkins. Dion Richmond was chosen as his brother, Darren, based on their interaction on The Cosby Show. In 1995, Santana portrayed Marcus Henry in the short-lived CBS family drama Under One Roof, co-starring with James Earl Jones, Joey Morton, and Vanessa Bell Calloway. From 1996 to 1999, he portrayed the character Ohagi on Moesha. In 1996, he secured the role of Romeo Santana on The Steve Harvey Show. In 2001, he portrayed the character Jermaine in the movie Flossin. In 2002, he appeared in the VH1 TV movie, Played, a hip-hop story with Toni Braxton. That same year, Santana had a role in the Eddie Murphy comedy Showtime. His final television acting appearance was on the UPN series Half Emp Half, while his last film role was in the 2003 comedy film The Blues with Dion Richmond. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What was your favorite part of today's video, or do you have suggestions for future topics? Your feedback is incredibly important to me, and I make it a point to read and respond to as many comments as possible. Once again, thank you for being part of this journey. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care, stay positive, and I'll catch you later.